So I do think the Rams are the better team. They had bigger stars. The stars played better. What was your feeling driving home? Rams Super Bowl champs?
A very good feeling, not just for the team, but for the city of Los Angeles, and for to have the first Super Bowl won by the Los Angeles Rams in the city of LA. I mean, we've had some great teams here in LA, going back to the 70s and the 60s with the fearsome foursome. They never won a Super Bowl. We never won a Super Bowl. They won their first Super Bowl in St. Louis, but to bring one home to Los Angeles, I think that was the best part of it for me.
You know, I was critical of McVay on social media. I kept saying, man, we're wasting these precious downs on running the ball, but he kept running and he kept running. What did you make of that when they were trailing late?
You know, I think it's important to run the football. Sometimes it doesn't get yards, but what it does is it freezes the linebackers. They have to step forward to play the run. So if you're just throwing the ball solely, just throwing it, then they don't have to worry about the pass. But when you run the ball just a few times, even if you don't get the yards that you want, it's important to keep that running game going. And I was shocked. I got to say, I was shocked that he was running the ball as much as he did. But I think that was, believe it or not, they didn't get a lot of yards with it. But I think that's kind of could make the difference in that football game. You
have great connections in the organization. As we watched, the Bengals' run defense was very stout. It's a great front for them. You know Stafford behind the scenes. You hear things because you're close to the organization. What don't I see with Matt Stafford beyond just the great arm? Because there's a certain maturity. I watched this team melt around him against Tom Brady in Tampa, and he just, you know what I mean? There's something to be said. A lot of times I don't see what you do. What is it about Stafford that's different?
When you talk to players about Matt Stafford, they talk about his grit, his willingness to win. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to take the hit and how he wants to win. I think that's what people don't know about Matt Stafford, you know, and what a great teammate he is. You know, guys stand up for him. You know, the press talk about him. Well, Matt Stafford can't do this. Matt Stafford's never won the playoff game. Matt Stafford has done that. I mean, think about it. In Detroit, the last time the Detroit Lions won a playoff game, Matt Stafford was 3 years old. So that just goes to show you how bad the Detroit Lions are and how good this guy is. I mean, it's amazing that their players really love Matt. And I think I always said that was the thing we were missing, you know, to put us in the Super Bowl was the quarterback.
OBJ got hurt, non-contact injury. Do you bring him back if you're the Rams? I mean, they've got some good young players. Robert Woods come back. What do you do with OBJ?
I think you bring him back. I really do. I'd like to see him come back to L.A. I mean, he really was a big game changer for us this season. In that football game, I think when he got hurt, it changed the dynamics of that game because all of a sudden we became almost like 1.5 dimensional. We run the football, wasn't getting any yards with it, but then only guy we could really go to was Cooper Kupp, and they knew that. So I think having OBJ, you know, back, you know, with Robert Woods, you know, with Van Jefferson, I think is a great combination.
When do you worry about L.A. stars? Andrew Whitworth probably retires, I would guess that. Do you think San Francisco, that's a very tough division, Shanahan and McVay, it's a real battle. Do you worry about there'll be a little hangover for the Rams after that win?
Well, I don't think it'd be a hangover. And when the season starts, you don't think about you won the Super Bowl. That's great and everything, but you got to get ready for that next year. That's what it's all about. You get ready for the games right in front of you. Look, we have a lot of great players on this football team. Let's hope we can keep as many as we possibly can. We probably will lose a few, but I think the main focus of this team is Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the quarterback Matt Stafford, hope we can keep Von Miller, you know, and just keep that core together. And you know, we'll have Cooper Kupp already in place. Let's keep that core of guys together in that defensive front we have, and just add to it.
The Bengals' offensive line, their D-line's fantastic. Their O-line's a bit of a mess. Did you feel for Burrow? I mean, Joe Mixon didn't have much room either. I mean, you've played behind in Indianapolis.
Oh.
Bad O-lines. What did you make of it?
It's no fun. I'll put it to you like that. It's no fun getting hit in the backfield. It's no fun getting stuffed all the time. Watching that offensive line, especially in the second half, that defense just took over. I mean, you saw that they were really hitting Joe Burrow, and I felt for him, even though he's on the other team. You just know he's a fantastic quarterback, but you don't want to see him get hurt because of the guys up front. They have to draft offensive line, and more offensive linemen because that's all they need. I mean, that defensive front was great, and keep that football team together as much as they can. You know, so you know they could be back here again next year with the players they have if they keep them intact and add to that offensive line.
Yeah. The Aaron Donald is probably as physically disruptive as any player I remember. So you played against some great players. Was there ever a player that was as physically, and I'm not talking speed, that if you ever see a player be on the field with a player that was as physically dominant as Aaron Donald?
For sure, Reggie White. Reggie White and Aaron remind me so much of each other. I mean, Reggie was a little bit taller. His arms were a lot longer. But let me tell you, see, we didn't have the social media. We didn't have all the coverage that we have now. But Reggie White was a guy that was just as disruptive, maybe even more. But, I mean, it's hard to compare the two because, the different eras. But, man, when I watch him, I tell him, I say, you remind me so much of Reggie White.
Yeah. So, Eric, today, now you're part of an organization that are Super Bowl champions. How do you celebrate, Eric?
Even when I played and we won, I wasn't a celebrating guy. Like I didn't want to go to any parties last night. I just thought about the season. What most important to Colin, I'm just happy for the players because I know how hard this is. I never got to a Super Bowl, got to an NFC Championship game. It's a lot that goes into a season. And then when the season's over, you just want to relax and just catch your breath for a minute. So more than anything, I'm happy for the football players that play for the Los Angeles Rams because I know how hard that is. And hey, I'm happy for our city of Los Angeles.
When you heard that Sean McVay may leave for broadcasting, what did you think when you heard those rumors?
Not happening. Not going to happen. Please. that ain't going to happen. He loves coaching too much. That's not going to happen.
I know. I was thinking he's 36. He'll probably live to be 96. He's not going to coach for 60 years. He's going to hang around and broadcast. I heard that and I thought, hey, he's too young.
Man, he don't look at him right there. He loves being a head coach. He loves coach. He loves football. He loves that passion. It's no passion being in the booth, talking about a football game. You want to be out there in the game. That's why I don't like going to football games. I want to play the game. I can't play it anymore, but I love playing it.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Famer, 6-time Pro Bowler, second overall picked out of SMU. It's great seeing you. Congratulations to you and the Ram family.
Hey, thanks. Good seeing you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.